Breaking news this hour is that the NPP's Bernard Entry Boakye alias Chairman Wontumi has been found guilty of various minor offences by the court. And at this point in time, the plea of mitigation is what is taking place at this point in time, Roland.
And it's also important that during the plea of mitigation, that again will be led by his counsel.
Yes, I actually checked and I have an update on respect of that as well. I checked with Lord because we wanted to confirm whether he had lawyers present. Lord says, in actual sense, 4 of Samuel Atachen's juniors are present in the courtroom, and they are attempted to actually address the court on the motion for the deferment of the judgment. But the judge had taken the view that because the motion and the affidavit had been filed, she had read the entire process and she was satisfied that this was not a matter that required a reference to the Supreme Court. And so if you are just joining us, the breaking news at this point in time, Roland, is that the NPP's chairman, Wontumi, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, has been found guilty of various mining offences. The court is satisfied that the state has proved its case against Chairman Wontumi beyond reasonable doubt and has convicted him of the offences found against him, Roland.
It also includes his company, that is also an accused interested entity in the subject matter, and they also, when it comes to the counts, can be found in count 3. Again, we also know that for facilitating a licensed mining operation, also found guilty. But more importantly, we also have to, within the remits of the law, assignment of mineral rights without approval, found guilty beyond reasonable doubt that was undertaken, an act in omission, and that also means that for all that has to be said, we've also brought you within what the sentencing regime is, and then also what the judge could look into in assigning that sentence. And the sentence against Joseph includes a prison term and then also a fine.
Yes, absolutely. It comes with a prison term and a fine as well. And at this point in time, the mitigation is what will be taking place. And like I did explain earlier on, the mitigation is basically your lawyers addressing the court to convince the court that, especially because for offenses that has a range of punishment. So if you are looking at 15 to 25 and you are looking at 120,000 to 180,000 cedis as the fine that could be imposed, they now have to urge the court why the court should not go for the upper limit, why the court should come a bit low. And so a lot of the times what the lawyers will do will be to say that, well, this is someone who is an important person in the community, is a first-time offender. In fact, the first-time offender, the lawyers will say he's not known to the law, meaning he's not had a brush with the law, so that he's been convicted before. It's always a very important prayer that is made because it should let the court know that, well, maybe it's not someone who is a criminal, so to speak, and engages in various criminal activities, but it's the first time that the person has engaged in such an offense. You make the point that, well, he's ready and willing to do some restitution, maybe some the money that the fine that could be imposed is ready to make the money available immediately. The state will not have to go an extra step to try and enforce that aspect of the judgment, etc., against him and all of that. But all of these are matters that the judge would also take into consideration the facts that have been proved as well. And your own plea is the reason why sometimes some lawyers would advise that if you know you've committed the offense, it's fair that you plead guilty at the start, because then you've allowed the states to expend prosecutorial resources to prosecute you all this while. And so that is also another thing that the court would also look out for. And so once they address the court on the plea of mitigation and they are done, then the judge will now come and announce the sentencing, and that will bring an end to the proceedings for the day. And so just by way of a recap with what we are reporting this hour, the breaking news that we are reporting this hour, Roland, is that the High Court has convicted Chairman Wontumi of assigning mineral rights without approval and purposely facilitating illegal mining at a Samra Boy concession. Count 1, assignment of mineral rights without approval, found guilty. Count 3, Akonta Mining also convicted as well, the company. And count 4, guilty as charged, Chairman Wontumi convicted. And count 6, purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation has also been found guilty in that respect. We will try and connect Roland as well to the Ashanti region. At least by now, they are watching us right here on TV3. They know I mean, I'm telling Roland we'll be connecting to the Ashanti region as well, Roland, just for the very latest in terms of the reactions, because they had gathered over there as a show of support. Now they are watching us live from the Ashanti. They know what the decision now is that he's been convicted, and what we can assure them is that he's not coming home today because of the judgment of the court, and so he will be within the bosom of the justice jurisprudence administration for today.
Do we still have that focus on the door of the court area? Okay, so but again, we know that there are interested parties because Chairman Wontumi, Bernard Nkwiboisiakon being his real name, is a politically exposed person, currently occupies the chairmanship position of the opposition NPP, but also operates a number of companies within the mining sector as well as its derivatives. But more importantly, is also vying for the chairmanship of the NPP. We know that when it comes to the NPP, the hub of the party is the Ashanti region. Early on, we had bureau head, that William Evansinkum, take us to the Ashanti region and then speak broadly on his own opinion, but importantly, reported observation about the interested stakeholders, why they will be interested in this subject matter or this very specific case. And now the judgment largely has been given. We have the period of sentence mitigation that will be led by his counsel or a team of the lawyers, and then also what that could also mean in terms of its trickling effects on public opinion in the Ashanti region. We'll have to bring him back again. William Evans Nkum, I'm sure, of course, you've heard the breaking news. That also, I'm sure, is also being communicated across the airwaves and social media in the Ashanti region. So far, what can you tell us? Right. Again, this is what we have. Joseph will take us through what we have, the breaking news, and then we also know that what has been, again, read out so far in this judgment by the court in the conviction of Chairman Wontumi. And just to apprise you, so the open door,
the one on the right,
on the extreme right, where the gentleman in ash is coming out from,
is the exit. Then the entrance is on the left-hand side.
Okay.
And so very soon we will see the lawyers and our colleague Lord Edu Asare and the others will be coming out on the right side, and then the Attorney General, his team, will also be coming out from the right side. Hopefully we'll get some good interviews with them. We'll get an interview actually. We'll get an interview with them on all these matters and hear from the state's position on what has transpired in court so far, especially what they make of whatever sentence the court will be imposing. And I think in all of this, we had made reference to how illegal mining has been a topical issue, has been an issue of national concern so far. And Akonta mining is also important because if you recall, the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining actually petitioned the previous administration on the activities of Akonta mining in the Samraboy area and even within the Nimri forest as well. And if you recall, the then president at the time, Akufo Addo, had said that they were not engaged in illegal mining at the time. He said they were not engaged in illegal mining to his knowledge. And if you recall, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister explained that what Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, the president, His Excellency, meant was at the time he was speaking, they were not engaged in illegal mining. But be that as it may, the group actually compiled images of the illegal mining they believed were taking place. They sent all of that over to the police CID for investigations to happen. Nothing progressed or nothing came out of that. And it's something that in the course of various news bulletins we'll be hearing from some of these interest groups, and they will make the point that they found that to be very surprising and raised concerns that it did appear that the government, the previous government, was not bent on looking into the matter or prosecuting the matter because of the role and the individual that was involved. Then all of a sudden, a change in administration and the same facts, basically the facts surrounding his activities in the Samraboy area has now formed the basis of a conviction, a finding of a court as a matter of fact that there was illegal mining taking place in the Akonta mining reserve that had been handed over to the Akonta mining concession that had been handed over to Chairman Wontumi. And so that begs the question, and it's one that eventually, when it all settles down as a nation, we would have to have conversations about it. Because on the flip side too, one would also argue that would it also mean that there was actually nothing wrong taking place, and that because of the political witch hunting that perhaps is taking place. But either ways, a court of competent jurisdiction has been seized with a factual situation of the matter. They've heard from the accused persons. They've also heard from the prosecution. The court's conclusion is that there was mining that was taking place contrary to law in Chairman Wontumi's mining reserve, for which reason he has been found guilty of the offenses that he has been charged with, Roland.
Okay, just also to give you the timelines, this case particularly is just one of 3 other cases. And again, Joseph Akable, just to do a recall, took all of us through the number of cases that Chairman Wontumi is involved in. Of course, we'll talk about the concurrent prosecution of those cases, as he is now going to be either imprisoned but also jointly also fined as well. And then also the time travel for this particular case started in October last year, 2025, and subsequently a number of evidence adduced as reported by our court reporters over the period of this case, to the point that we even had his general manager also turning a witness for the prosecution in itself. And subsequently, we know a number of incidents that have taken place even outside the court room itself in relation to the subject matter. And that also means that a lot of interests have generated for this case, and interested parties, interested stakeholders, particularly associated with him as a businessman, also as a politician, because currently he is the chair for the NPP in the Ashanti region. And it also means that those interested parties, particularly politically exposed persons, will have a lot to say. And just outside this case is the fact that Chairman Wontumi, Bernard Nkriboisiako, is also vying to be the chair for the NPP at the national level, so the national chairman prospectively for the NPP. We will subsequently again take a look at what rights are accruing to him in law after this judgment, and then also how far that could go, and subsequently what effects that could have on his bid to become the chair for the New Patriotic Party nationally. And Joseph, it doesn't look easy, but it also means that the public opinion certainly would also influence the outcome of this case, irrespective of how we make of it. A court of competent jurisdiction, but of course in the court of public opinion, a lot of comment tend to go on the subject matter. For you, you've gone through the processes of being a court reporter and subsequently operating within the precinct of the court as a court officer as well. What usually goes in the minds of the members of the public when you're reporting it, and then also when you hear from the court officers, whether it's a registrars or even the judges themselves who sit on some of these cases, per your experience? I
mean, it's always interesting. It's always interesting, and especially for the public interest ones. They are the ones that come once a while, and so they are the ones that you always follow keenly. You are interested in. You want to see how it's all going to play out there. And in this particular instance, it has so much around it that makes it for an interesting following. And you've made reference to it extensively about Chairman Wontumi's own pedigree as a politician, to the extent that he wants to contest for national chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party. And it's an interesting aspect of it. But a lot of the time, at this point in time, once the judgment is delivered like this, for the lawyers, what we would want is to see the judgment to understand the analysis a bit more and see how the evidence that was led, how the court placed weight on it, what weight it didn't place on it, and the various questions about whether they were sufficiently proved and everything. I mean, because the fact of the matter remain that all lawyers go to the same law school, but they come out and they all disagree on different things. Last week Friday on the show, one of the texters, he sent a message that lawyers interpret the law like the Bible. because pastors, they read the scripture, you can give to the same pastors and they'll
depending on the inspiration they have from God.
Exactly. And
which God?
I mean, so all those are things that the lawyers tend to look out for. I mean, for those who are in the general public, I mean, and a lot of the people, some of the things that they are saying now, in fact, I can guess what's on the mind of many people now. They just want to know what the sentencing is at this point in time, and it's why we.
Well, you take us through again, just to apprise you of what the latest has been. This is breaking for a number of minutes now, and rightly so. We're having this coverage not only mainstream TV3 Ghana across social media, 3FM 92.7 across social media, 3news.com is where you're getting all the latest, whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X, as well as all the others. You can find the latest breaking from Media General, MG, and 3 News. We're bringing the latest as it is from all our platforms in all the subsidiaries as well. The latest being Chairman Wontumi, Bernard Intwi, an accused person in this case, has been convicted. And for which conviction we'll apprise you of. And Joseph,
yes,
we have them.
Just before that, I mean, a bit of we are doing a live coverage, so live updates now. Some of the things that are being said in court by way of the plea mitigation that is taking place. And so the Chairman Wontumi's lawyers, they are saying that he is the breadwinner of his family. They are saying that he is married and has dependents, and so they are asking that they should be given a lower sentence. And we've already pointed out that the minimum is 15 years, the maximum is 25. They also say that Chairman Wontumi is a law-abiding citizen who always showed up in court as well. And so the judge should also consider that as well. And we must indicate that the court was first addressed by lawyers who are from Samuel Atachian's law firm, specifically Charles Boakye Esquire, who is the one who was on his feet first to address the court. In fact, he's the lawyer who authored the letter that was sent to the court that Mr. Atachian was traveling, for which an adjournment should be given. So he's the one who addressed the court. Afterwards, other lawyers in the courtroom have also taken turns to address the court as well. And then one lawyer, Bernard Donko, also addressed the court, urging the court to be lenient in terms of the sentence that it should impose on Chairman Wontumi. He announced himself as a friend of the court, Bernard Donko there, saying that some leniency should be applied in this particular instance to Chairman Wontumi. So those are some updates that we are bringing you from the court room in terms of the updates. And in just some very few minutes now, when the judge is done hearing from all those who would want to address her on this particular matter, she will put down her sentence, then it will be read to the public, and we'll update you in respect of that as soon as we have it there. And then a lot of the times, when you have multiple offenses, Roland, there's always the question of whether it should run concurrently or consecutively. If you are not lucky and the judge takes the view that it should be consecutively, then if you are found guilty for maybe count 1 and also count 3, and count 1 is 15 and count 3 is also 15, it will mean that you are going to do 30. On the other hand, if the judge opts for concurrently, what normally happens, and the very simple way of understanding it, is that you pick the highest figure. And so there can be multiple offenses with various years. One can have 15, one can have 20, one can have 30. All you have to do is to pick the highest in it. So if the highest is 20, then basically it will mean that you'll be in for the highest figure, which will be the 20. So the count 1 is the undertaking the mining operations without a license. Then the count 4 is felling trees in a forest reserve without authority as well. Then count 6, erecting buildings in a forest reserve without authorization. And as we are well aware, he pleaded not guilty to all the counts. Then the bit about the undertaking a mining operation without a license, abetting the unauthorized felling of trees as well is also another offense that came up quite strongly there. Also pleaded not guilty in respect of all of that. And so that is how far we have come in respect of this particular matter as well. And the plea of mitigation is still ongoing as we speak now at 11:35. other lawyers are still addressing the court. They've taken an interest in this matter and urging the court to be lenient. And like we said, the range that the court is working within is 15 to 25 years. And so the judge would have to do the analysis to decide. And she would also have to answer the question whether she thinks it should be consecutively or concurrently. That's another question that the court would also have to answer as well. Then there's the fining bit that accompanies it. With that one also, we are also saying that the range is the 120,000 and the 180,000 as well. And so that is the range that the judge is operating within. And all these questions about he being a breadwinner and the impact it will have on a family, a first-time offender, all of this will be playing out on the court's mind. But this brings an end to a very significant high-profile public interest prosecution that has been taking place. And in terms of the prosecution so far by the state, this will be the very first one that they followed through under this administration from start to end and secured a conviction. And we'll be hearing from the legal team, the Deputy Attorney General, who has been leading this prosecution right from the start, the learned Dr. Justice Remsai will be coming out. We'll hear from him after the proceedings have come to an end. We'll also be hoping to hear from the legal team for Chairman Wontumi as well to address us on what the next steps are. One of my seniors always has a story he shares about how whenever he was going for such criminal matters, he prepares a notice of appeal. He prepares a notice of appeal. Everything is done, signed.
Yeah.
It just left to be filed. And once he sees that the judgment is not going in his favor, he can quickly just proceed and have the clerk
we'll go through what rights are accruing to him as an accused person, subsequently now convicted, and then also what steps his legal team could take in law to be able to perhaps seek a further prey to the courts, and then perhaps ask for some mitigation when it comes to the sentence or the outcome as it is. Again, we told you that high profile, a lot of interested individuals and parties to this very case. Already over 1,700 of you on Facebook and watching us currently. A number of comments also coming through with a number of individuals. Prince Nyani York is a regular watcher from the UK. He's watching on his device as well. I see Kelly. I see our own is also watching. Adi Diamond, I see you as well. Ni is also there. Noel, I see you. And Chikata is watching. And then Delasi Godwin, as well as a number of individuals across our social media platforms. We took you to the Ashanti region. Evans Inkom, the latest. Now we have this breaking. And not too good for those who support Chairman Wontumi or Bernard Intribuesiakon, the chair for the NPP in the Ashanti region, vying for the national chairmanship position of the New Patriotic Party. You're in the heart of the NPP, the Ashanti region. The sentiment, well, good, not good. But what are they saying?
Well, so most of them have been trying to avoid the microphone and the camera. But, I mean, behind the screens, they tell you that they are not happy about the development from the Accra High Court. They are not optimistic that at this juncture, there's going to be any escape as far as the corridors of the law is concerned. Nonetheless, we're also hearing that this particular development was going to halt the vetting process here, as I indicated to you early on. Currently, the party is vetting potential occupants of various executive positions as far as the Ashanti region is concerned. So early report that we're getting from the vetting room was that there was going to be, or the process was going to be put on hold. I mean, it continues. However, I've also cited some workers of Wontumi, and their facial expression tells one thing, that they are really down. Roland.
Individuals, particularly those associated with Chairman Wontumi, but also the NPP, or even the other side of the political divide, will be shying away from commenting on this. But it's going to be a flurry of activities on the airwaves and then the public places in the Ashanti region. Based on your experience, won't it be?
Absolutely. For those who have not aligned with him as far as his understanding of the contemporary politics, and of course, that of the Ashanti region is concerned. One of the guys that I engaged think that, well, his council, he was actually blaming his council for not making an appearance at the court. And he believed that, well, he knew what was coming. Maybe it was one of those legal tactics to avoid a blame that perhaps he did not play his role well. That is his view. But I can tell you that, yes, indeed, I mean, there are a good number of them, in as much as there are people who support him, there are also a good number of them who also did not align with his way of managing the party in the Ashanti region. But yes, I mean, the coming days are very pregnant. We're still hoping to get some views just to affirm what their position is as far as the current development from the High Court in respect of Chairman Wontumi and its, issue with illegal mining is concerned. Roland.
All right, William Evansinkum, thank you for the latest updates. The Ashanti region is where our bureau chief currently is stationed. We're live across our social media platforms, streaming there, TV3 Ghana, 3FM, and then also various subsidiaries are also streaming currently, bringing to you an extensive coverage on what the court has decided on this very case that the court started back in October 2025 and subsequently has traveled over the period, and so far we're bringing to you the latest. And
Roland, we have an update. We have an update to give you. So count one, Chairman Wontumi has been slapped with a sentence of 20 years with a fine of 10,000 penalty units. So 10,000 penalty units will be 120,000 cedis, and count one, 20 years in prison. So that is it in respect of count one. For count six, he's been asked to pay a fine of 15,000 penalty units. So 15,000 penalty units will be 180,000 cedis. 180,000 cedis. Yes, that's the amount. 180,000 cedis is the amount that he's been slapped with in respect of that particular one. So that is the update that we have for you. Chairman Wontumi sentenced to 20 years in prison, and so that is what we can update us on in respect of that particular one. So the breaking news this hour is that the NPP's Chairman Wontumi, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party and the founder and CEO of Akunta Mining, has been found guilty for various mining offense. He's been slapped with a jail time of 20 years in prison with a fine that if you do the computation, you are looking at somewhere in the region of almost 300,000 cedis, basically. 300,000 cedis, basically. We'll be providing a bit more updates and crossover to the court and give you the very latest with that. Roland, we'll cross over very shortly to give you a sense of what is playing out outside the courtroom. But this is the latest that is coming from inside the courtroom at this point in time. And then within context, we had said that the range that the judge was working with was 15 to 25 years. And so the judge settled on 20 in that particular instance. Okay. And the amount, the judge had a range of 120,000 cedis to 180,000 cedis. And because there are different offenses, for one, she opted for 120,000 cedis. Again, in between, then 180,000 also for another as well. And so very shortly, we'll cross over to the court and give you the very latest. But if you're just joining us, we know that at least Chairman Wontumi, as things stands now, has a jail term hanging around his neck of at least 20 years. We'll get a bit more clarification when Lord Edward Asare joins us from the court premises as well, Roland.
All right. So we're having extensive coverage. Lord Asare is the one giving us the bid part, but more importantly, the information from the courtroom outside the courthouse itself at the precinct is our own person, Sixtus Don Ulo, also broadcaster, legal practitioner as well. We've stationed all our men to make sure that we bring you an extensive coverage just beginning after the hour of 10 up till now. We have our man in the Ashanti region monitoring, because Ashanti region is the hub of the NPP, for which we have Chairman Wontumi Bernard Intriboisiakon as the chair for the opposition NPP, for which there are many interested stakeholders from his party as well as the other political parties, and then the generality of the society there. But more importantly, we also here in Accra bringing you the extensive, what the various sentencing regime is, as we have in Section 99(2) as amended for the Minerals and Minings Act, and then bringing to you what the upper limit and then the minimum of the sentence as well as the fine will be. And Joseph has brought to you what the decision of the court is. But either Lord Asare will be bringing to us the latest, or Sixtus Don Ulo. And Sixtus, what can you tell us? Now we know that at least for 20 years, if the appeal per what is accruing to him as a convicted person will be, then it also means that will be a long way. What so far can you monitor outside the court premises?
Well, before we come to that, I would want to engage Lord Asare, my colleague who was seated right in the court, and then we can go through that again. But as you can see at the background, you see that there's a lot of movement, media persons here, everybody trying to get the first bite. We are waiting for who has a voice to speak to us to step out. Once they step out, you would hear from them firsthand some of the things that are happening, and even in terms of appeal, I don't think, speaking with a legal mind, I don't think this is a judgment and a sentence that would be taken lying down by lawyers of Chairman Wontumi. Indeed, we got that inkling when they started pleading for a reduction in the sentence. That is what the lawyers call mitigation. After the sentence has been pronounced, you would have some sort of attempt from the lawyers to try to reduce the sentence for the convicted person. They are not disputing the conviction at this moment. At this moment, they are saying that, look, you have convicted our client. We don't have a problem with it yet, but kindly see to a reduction in the sentence. That is the exercise that happened after the conviction. And whilst that was happening, in fact, the demeanor on the look of the lawyer Atta was somewhat anger and curiosity, not so happy. Lord Asare, how exactly do you describe that?
So, Sixtus, let me just give a bit of a throwback. You recall that the lawyer Atta, he filed some motion indicating that he was going to travel, and as a result, he wouldn't be present. And so he sent 3 or 4 junior lawyers to come and represent them, and they made a mitigating plea. They made a mitigating plea for the sentence to be reduced.
All right. Let me cut in that. We have a leading voice of the NPP, but I'm not sure that he wants to grant us any interviews. We have he's swamped, and he actually is not in the mood to grant us that interview. So we will get back to discussing, yes, Lord Atta, what happened in court.
Yes, but 4 junior lawyers were sent by lawyer Atta because he had sent a letter Friday that he was pleading for a deferment of the judgment against Chairman Wontumi. So essentially, the lawyers who were present, they seemed very uncomfortable with what was going on when they attempted to use that motion for the case to be tried, essentially the Supreme Court.
Application.
Indeed, we have gathered that he's to the jurisdiction, and for which reason he wrote the letter for an adjournment. He indicated that he'll be back within the jurisdiction on Wednesday, and so
again, we're coming to you live from the courthouse right here in Accra. And certainly that's where we broke the news live here on TV3, 3FM, as well as across our subsidiaries and across social media platforms where we're streaming live. Chairman Entry Bawumia Campaign, an accused and subsequently convicted in this case for a number of offenses in relation to mining activities.
He's been sentenced to 20 years in hard labor with a penalty unit of 10,000 for the 2 counts that he has been charged with. Let me just quickly run you through the charges which were preferred against Chairman Wontumi. There was count 1, which was the assignment of mineral rights. We have the Deputy Attorney General here.
We have the Deputy Attorney General. Congratulations, Deputy AG. Some would say that this is a huge victory for the department. Wouldn't you say so? I mean, this has generated a lot of public interest, and I'm sure that there are those who would be applauding you that indeed you have fought a good fight. Is that how you say it?
Let me get to the stage.
All right, the Deputy Attorney General is trying to position himself well so that at least we can get one word from him. I'm sure that is a judgment that excites the department, that at least one victory has come, but it might not just be one that the department would want to keep mute over. Definitely would have to hear from them. But as it stands now, the Deputy EG has declined the invitation to comment on the judgment that has been pronounced and the sentence that has been handed down Chairman Wontumi. So that is on the part of the prosecution, the highest ranking officer that we have seen in court, the Deputy Attorney General. We are still scouting around to see if we would find somebody on the defense side so that we can have that conversation with them as well. There are questions that we'll be asking. Well, this has happened. Sentence has been handed down. What is the strategy going forward? Are they going to be appealing? What are they looking at? Appealing for what exactly? Against the conviction or against the sentence or against both? We are going to be asking them all of these questions to try to understand what the thinking is at this moment. Because earlier in court, we know that lawyers had, pleaded with the court, told the court that, look, this man, he's a very enterprising man. He has set up so many businesses. He has employed so many people. Imagine what happens to him if you lock him away for 20 years. The businesses may collapse. People may lose jobs in an era that we are asking for more jobs to be created, for more people to be employed. Again, the lawyers said that, look, he has listened to all the concerns that the people have raised. He has listened to all the concerns that the people have raised. He's followed the public discussion. He's remorseful about what has happened. And so let us, as they say, temper justice with mercy, or is it mercy with justice? It is another attempt that the lawyers made to try to get the court to reduce the sentence at this moment. But did that really happen, Lord Edu Asare?
Sixes, indeed, if you listen to what the presiding judge was making before making her pronouncement, for example, the lawyers made the plea that, well, this is his first time. He and his company, they've been involved in something like that, and so part of their mitigating plea, they wanted a reduced sentence, for example. So in her judgment, she indicated that, yes, they are first-time offenders, and so and we know that the range is from 15 to 25, but he got 20 years from the sentence. Now, something that we need to talk about also is the posturing of Wontumi.
Yes. I was coming to I was going to get to that. Ask you about what exactly his demeanor was. I cannot imagine how a man will look or feel the moment he is told that he is to be in jail, in prison, for 20 good years.
Hard labor.
Hard labor. That is attached.
Yeah, 60. So initially, once the sentence and when the reading started, he was intermittently smiling wryly. Some of the times when the judge makes certain statements, you see him visibly angry. So sometimes even the prosecution trying to imply that that is not the case, and so he was visibly disagreeing with some of the things that the judge was making. But getting to the latter part, then you realize that he was moving a lot within the witness box, and his face had become shiny with a bit of sweat, and now that smile was gone. He was
fading away.
Now he was beginning to look a lot more worried, and by the time the entire sentence was given, he looked like a man who has, what's the word, probably given up or didn't know what his face was going to be. And so at that point it was a mixture of sadness, anger, among other things. So Sixers, basically that is what we've been witnessing from the Circuit Criminal Court 4 of the Accra High Court here, where Wontumi has been sentenced.
Well, that is exactly the kind of feeling that you would expect a man to have going through such a conviction. It's not a small thing to go through, and so we want to try to pick some interviews here.
That the court should give him the barest minimum. It was not against his conviction, so it is not as if I did that to probably encourage illegal man. No, it was just for the courts to understand that Mr. Wontumi is just not like you and myself. He owns a lot of businesses. So the court, I don't know if she considered that, but well, I'm sure his lawyers would advise him accordingly.
So
please allow me to go.
Bernard Oredo.
Please.
That is Bernard Oredo.
Please, cancel.
Well, you caught the tail end of that interview with Bernard Oredo, lawyer for member of the gentlemen. Settle down, gentlemen. Settle down. You were in court.
Yes, I said.
You followed the entire process, and I'm sure that some would say justice has been done. Others would say justice has not been done. Let's start from there.
Justice is relative. I mean,
yes,
as to whether justice has been done or not, it's relative. It's relative. For me, the court has given its decision. It's left with Mr. Wontumi's lawyers to decide as to what to do next. The only thing I did in court was to plead for Mr. Wontumi in terms of the sentencing. And it is not because it's Mr. Wontumi. It's a very ordinary thing we all do in court, where if you believe that as a friend of the court, you need to put in 1 or 2 for an accused person, we do it. And we do it not because we don't believe in the sentencing, we don't believe in the conviction, or we have issues with the conviction. As for the conviction, yes, it was all done, but it was the sentencing. So you remember what I said was that since the court itself has established that Mr. Wontumi is the directing minds for most of his businesses, so it means that if the court keeps him in incarceration for long, his businesses are going to be affected. So the court should consider the fact that he's a businessman and he employs a lot of people directly and indirectly. So it was to the youth unemployment that could come as a result of his being away from his businesses. That was the only thing. I was just appealing to the mind of
the judge. Are you in any way related to Mr. Wontumi?
No, I am not.
Do you have any business dealing with Mr. Wontumi?
My name is Bernard, so probably just by name, but I have no business with him. I had just come to court to listen, but I was just moved.
So this was just an officer of the court doing the job?
It is pure out of courtroom practice, where any person could get up as a friend of the court and put in some words in mitigation for an accused person who has been convicted. So it's not because I have any personal relationship with Wontumi, and I'm not his lawyer on record. It was just out of normal court practice I did that.
That so you rose to your feet to try to
appeal to the emotions and the conscience of the judge. To just tamper justice with me. So I was hoping for the barest minimum of punishment.
But what do you think? What do you think going forward? Should the lawyers go on appeal on this matter? What would that barest minimum be for you?
What I think don't matter now, because I'm not a lawyer on record for Mr. Wontumi. I only did what a lot of lawyers do in court, that we try to intervene for an accused person who has been convicted. That is what I did.
So what is the barest minimum you
the law? As to what I expected the court to do, it is by law 15 years. So if the judge had given him the minimum, I would have been happy. But for all those things we had said, maybe he was going to get something. I don't know. I'm not in the mind of the judge, I feel that what we did, myself and the other lawyer, is very ordinary in the ways courts handle matters. So please let me.
Thank you so much. So you heard the voice of a lawyer who, this is what the lawyers will call an amicus. He rose to his feet after, as a friend of the court, in an attempt to get the court to reduce the sentence. And we heard from him, he has no ties to this man whatsoever, no business dealings with Chairman Wontumi, no political connection. He's just a lawyer who was in court, who saw the processes and felt that the judge could have, done something a bit lower than the 20 years. The 20 years that have been handed down to Chairman Wontumi. That is his motivation. That is his inspiration. That is the reason he decided to rise to his feet and to ask the court to do something about this. Hello? And so, yes, we are still here at the High Court complex here on the High Street to try to understand what really went on in court and then what we can do. We will try to get some more interviews. We will try to get some more interviews to try. Really, the thinking is going forward and what can happen. But here, it's you don't find people who are sympathizers and all, and so it's difficult to try to gauge the minds of the people who have a direct interest in this one. But we will try to engage some more lawyers to see what really. What do we do going from here? Better rephrased, what does Chairman Wontumi do going from here? Counsel, do I have your permission to engage you? And you have been part of the process. Yes, you have followed the process from day one. You are in the thinking of the defense from day one. Is this what was expected?
Certainly not. We are extremely disappointed in the outcome. In as much as we respect the decision of the courts, we have our resentment to the outcome of the trial so far. And indeed, I must say that...
You said the outcome of?
The outcome of the trial.
Okay.
Having culminated into a conviction and sentencing. Because under normal circumstances, one would have thought that at least once a person is charged with assignment of mineral right without authorization, it was right that the Lands Act clearly defines what assignment is. And assignment is by way of a written instrument. And if there was none throughout the trial, and that a person could be convicted and sentenced on same, then it's really a worrying trend. And what can we do except to consult our clients and fashion out the way forward? And come out.
But the charges were brought under the Mining Act, right?
Yes, certainly it was brought under the Mining Act. But the Mining Act doesn't talk of assignment. It talks in terms of assignment. There's specific legislation that regulates the conduct of land transactions. Is the Lands Act of 2020. Yes, Act 1036. It regulates the conduct of land transactions. So if you want to really understand what assignment means as far as land transactions are concerned, then you have to go to the Lands Act. And clearly the Lands Act talks of assignment to be a written instrument, but we did not see same. And said clearly, once he has been convicted on assignment without mineral rights authorization, it's clearly mind-boggling, and I am not comfortable with this.
You describe this as mind-boggling. To you, it is unfair. But let's talk about the processes of the trial itself. Would you say due process was followed?
I will reserve some for.
Would you say the judge was fair throughout the proceeding?
I wouldn't want to, with the circumstance I find myself now, I didn't want to comment on some of the matters, but I believe that as a legal team of Mr. Bediatuo will come out with his tact endorsement to speak on some of the matters that has gone on throughout the trial.
And that response points directly of an appeal. Is that what I'm sensing?
Oh, certainly. Once you are aggrieved or dissatisfied by the outcome of the decision of the court, the onus lie on you to file an appeal at the appellate court. Now, from the High Court, you can only go to the Court of Appeal. Satisfied, the rules of courts and the laws of the Republic allows you to go.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.